Okay, and we're live now. Hello there, welcome back to Botany Manor. We last left off unlocking the combination lock to the library hall. And let's see what awaits us. Study's closed though. Thank you. Thank you kindly for the flowers, for the flower books you sent for my daughters. To this day, they still show an interest in learning more about plants and painting. I am keen that my daughters have access to a good education, so I hope you don't mind me putting it upon you that you might be able to teach them somehow. Your dedication and knowledge seems so rare and inaccessible elsewhere for young girls like mine. I hope you will consider my proposal. Sincerest regards, Olive Campbell. See, now, look, now Arabelle, right, Green, is, the one, she's teaching the college class, huh, so to speak. Modern methods of teaching, ooh, Arabella, damn, she just reads a book about everything, damn. Gosh, it keeps going up, like we have a, I was waiting, I was hoping 4 new plants, okay. So we'll have to disseminate or piece out input clues that are going to go to 4 different plants, right, respectively. Okay, I decided to go up, start from the higher floors, and work my way down. Is this a clue? Okay. Ball invitation. Your company is respectfully solicited at a New Year's ball to be given at Somerset Hall. This was 30 years ago, right? It's 1890, present day, for Arabelle here. And this ball is 1860. So this is 30 years ago. Cousin, wash your hands and accompany me. You won't find a husband at the bottom of the garden. Ooh. And 30 years later, the cousin was right. Oof. The golden fish. Okay, this little story must be a clue. One bright morning, a poor fisherman caught a shining golden fish. The fish cried, "Please let me live. I am not a fish, but a prince enchanted by a wicked spell." So the fisherman let the fish go free. When the fisherman's wife learned of this, she demanded the fish grant a wish in return for its freedom, a cottage instead of the hovel where they lived. So the fishermen returned to the shore, and the fish granted their wish. But the wife was greedy and demanded riches, a palace, and servants. All the while the ocean became darker, and the shore was black with dirt. Finally, the wife wished to be so powerful that she can grant wishes for herself. In return for this greedy request, the fish revoked all the wishes it had granted. After that, the ocean became blue again, the shore clean, and the fisherman never saw the golden fish ever again. So somehow that little story is gonna be a clue? No. I vaguely recall my grandmother studying the nightfall when I was younger. Grandma's vault, study, master bedroom, attic. Okay. The hare and the tortoise at midday. Okay, that one is not so... I mean, it's not a straight up clue per se. It's maybe a metaphor in there for something. Oh, this strikes me as odd. This almost looks like the perfect place to hide a secret room, would it not? Or perhaps this one. Two secret rooms, perhaps. It's got a different kind of look to it. We'll continue on, but it stands out to me. I keep thinking, why is jump? Because I'm used to that. The Fox and the Crow. What's with all these little stories? Oh, we have this clue, huh? Okay, this is the fault. Okay, this is gonna move over or something. Oh, I see now. We have the stories like the fish granting one, right? The hare, right? So there must be an... Okay, so that explains why there's the folk tales. It's not a clue for growing a plant. It's a clue for opening Grandma's vaults, which has a seed packet to grow the plants, right? Wonders of the Night Sky. Alright, so this book, right? It's going to open that. So the order that of which we use these stories, okay? So we have the moon as the book down there right now. We're ordering them. Now let's see if there is anything. So there's 3 stars, crescent-shaped moon. I don't see any obvious numbers. I can't rotate it. Any other orientation. So that's about it. The fox and the crow. Okay, so the crow. Ah, one evening. Okay, I think I get it. I think it's the time of the day. So the moon, obviously night. This crow story is the evening. So we'll have to get them in order. So that's night, evening, morning. So I think this is sunrise, right? One of these will be the morning, and then one in the afternoon. It's cross-reference from upstairs. Okay. It struck me as odd that it said evening, right? It's like bold. I mean, it is the first letter, but watch if I'm right. One bright morning. Okay, see how there's emphasis? Okay, so the golden fish is the morning. So we have dawn or sunrise, and then the morning. And then the hare must be the afternoon. Midday, that's what I meant. So we have sunrise, midday, or golden fish, right? So sunrise, golden fish, midday for the hare. Okay, so let's check it out. So 1, midday, evening, night. There we go. Well, these are nice. These are beautiful. Lindley, this is from 1829. This thing is ancient. Arabella wasn't even alive at this point. Elevate. It has been very much the fashion of late years in the country to undervalue the importance of the science and consider it an amusement for ladies rather than an occupation for the serious thoughts of men. Why is this saved here? Probably because maybe that's someone who thought that it's change. Change is happening. Alright, nightfall. Oh, sunset paintings. Sunset, 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 sunset. Sunset, sunset, sunset. So they're all sunset, even though it's called nightfall. And now we have the study key. Nightfall progress. I've been trying to encourage the nightfall to bloom for a little while now. It's Mary Green, her grandmother. Oh, her grandmother maybe had a similar experience wanting to go study botany at the local university, right? Was turned away because it is for men only. Serious. Furrows brow. And so she had to do her own thing. And maybe... Okay. I've been trying to encourage the nightfall to bloom for a little while now, but determined to prove it's more than just a myth. So far I've deduced that the flower opens at sunset and only during a particular time of the year. When exactly that occurs still remains a mystery to me. I shall plant a few more seedlings tomorrow and continue my research. Task for this month: monitor nightfall seedlings, rose planting list, collect field samples, seed collection. I've deduced that the flower opens at sunset. At a particular time of year, though. That's of June, September, August, May, early May, late May, June, October, I put them in there just to help me organize things. Because once we got, I think maybe different clues are going to be certain areas, right? So, okay, now the studies over there, yeah. Still a fair bit of clues on it. Must the rest be in here. So I guess we're focusing on nightfall at first. Meadow orchids of Britain, collected and researched by Professor J. Montague, assisted by R. Brown. Richard Brown, wasn't it? But where is... Anne? My dear friend, so this is this year, earlier. I've been pondering the last few weeks what could be the best way to see a remarkable flora reach the wider world, since it is so seldom we are able to see our work published. Considering your uncle's reputation in the scientific field. Oh, maybe that was Lindsay. Have you considered asking him to publish your herbarium under his name? It may not give you the recognition you deserve personally, but it would be a way to reach your goal of adding to the scientific record on botany. Do consider it. I would hate for such important research to stay hidden away warming. That, and or you challenge the status quo. Like, what she can do, piss off her husband? God damn, what the hell? And if he's even still alive and kicking, he'd probably be happy. Okay, so luckily sapphire gloom doesn't need... I don't believe this to be an edible mushroom. So in here we got... okay, so the night bloom might be just an ongoing thing we're going to collect clues for, but we have some of these other smaller ones to knock out. 2 clues, right, for the mushroom? I'm sure the clues are in here. Arabelle, I've read some more books from the department that may be of interest for your research. One, I recall, was a favorite of your father's. If you have any trouble when you visit the college, tell the secretary you are collecting materials for your uncle. So long as they are returned before summer ends, the other professors won't notice. Best of luck with your research, Uncle Theodore. Ah, see, at least her uncle has her back like that. Damn. A little bit, but who knows? He's probably, hopefully he's not some old fuddy, you know, the... Well, niece, you really shouldn't be playing with plants. No, I think he does. Maybe it's because he likes plants too, and he knows it kind of run. You know, because the grandma likes plants, right? She did like plants. So of course her uncle, her father liked plants. You know what? The plants just run in the family. They like, it's in their blood, huh? They got these mushroom food sources. Just like plants, fungi need food sources to grow strong and healthy. However, some fungi haven't always had access to nutrients through soil and have evolved to retrieve it in different ways. This means they have become carnivorous because they only require the nutrients they need by consuming other living organisms, such as flies, bugs, and plants. Some mushrooms even get their nutrients from feeding on another type of fungus or parasite. Mushrooms growing on a tree is usually a sign that they are consuming the tree, so you should remove them immediately. Not always the case. All right, so here, that answer, look, that note right there. So wait, is that not the book she's borrowing from? It might be, and she wrote in it. What the heck? I mean, maybe that means it is her book and not the arboriculture. Oh, so that fungus right there, root parasite. red tree pox. If a tree is infected with red tree pox, many small red spots will be visible on the bark. It usually can be cured by adding fertilizer to the soil of the tree. Hypoxylon, causes black patches to form on the bark of the tree. It is usually a sign that the tree is lacking in hydration and won't stay alive for much longer. Root parasite. The root parasite is a fungus that forms purple rings on the bark and roots. The parasite leaches the nutrients that the tree receives from the soil. Eventually, it causes the tree to dry out and lose all its leaves. There is currently no known cure, and that is exactly what that tree in the living room or whatever is going through. It's blocking an upstairs door, so we got to get up there. So that means we're gonna have to figure out how to cure it. Bark rust. Bark rust is a disease that isn't very harmful to the tree. It's usually caused by excess hydration and too much sunlight. So eggs, kingfisher, speckled sparrow, duck, quail, river swan, blue heron, shelduck, crested owl. That's beautiful. Damn, these eggs are beautiful. Some of these. The bird's eggs must be a different clue. Oh, could it mean that tree... Oh, I got an idea. So that... Okay, so the parasite... Okay, this is how we're going to do it. We'll grow the sapphire bloom. Okay, so this is what we have to do to progress. Okay. Yeah, see, look, that's the parasite. Okay, so that means we need to grow the sapphire bloom mushroom, right? Or fungi. Because it's going to feed off of that root parasite. It feeds on... Sometimes it said it gets fungi. The fungi get its nutrients by carnivorously consuming other fungi and parasites, right? So that is root parasite on that tree. Oh, we're going through our stock of pots. I'll need to... Well, we got other stuff, so... Nightfall, not yet. So we'll do sapphire, gloom. Water it. Perfect. Ooh, my goodness. Yeah. Okay, so there you go. Remember that note in that book we read? That that since it was previously believed, right, that because mushrooms usually a sign that they are consuming the tree and that they should be removed immediately, right? Right here. Sunfire gloom is a wildly misunderstood mushroom. It grows commonly on trees, and as opposed to popular belief, the mushroom consumes its parasites rather than the tree. So that means that would make this a beneficial fungi, right? Oh my gosh, beautiful. And look, it grew back its leaves, and it managed to grow upward. I still wouldn't think it'd be best to have it in there, but hey, it is beautiful nonetheless. You know, since that's a little outlier, we'll put that one there. It's a nice little contrast. Okay, now we can progress. So nice. We knocked out one little plant. That one was practically a freebie. I wonder when we were going to deal with that tree. I kind of thought it'd be the final chapter. Like it was some kind of boss fight right there, but nothing so crazy. Oh, it's big. It's big up here. The trapped fairy. Letter about weeds. Dearest Arabella, I was taking a walk along a river in Somerset. Recently noticed a sight that I just had to write to you about. In the water, I saw the brook chalice blooming. I've never seen or heard of it flowering before. None of my books mention of it. It was so beautiful. Do you have an idea what would have caused this? Ever your friend Edith. So at least it's Arabella. Arabella has... Oh, the attic. That's where another pack of seeds are. That chalice, huh? Oh, another potting station. Okay, they do it because this is a game, you know, so we don't have to keep walking around for it. But okay, let's not get too distracted. Okay, so we have a little puzzle here with the bells. Let me guess, that's gonna... Oh, bird calls, so... Okay, the bird thing, okay, that must be for another... Okay, we'll put a plant there and we'll have to mimic... Okay, I'm guessing one of the plants, we'll find out that it has adapted in response to... It'll bloom at this by sound, right, because of the birds. Maybe it lets it know that if the birds are out, it's in season, right? And that's why we have the eggs, right? And will somehow come into light. It'll come to light that a particular type of egg or bird, right, whichever we'll find first, helps out the plant bloom. It must be that chalice. Maybe that's the next plant we're gonna work on. The nightfall has a lot of clues, right? So that one's gonna take a minute. Cradle fern. Declined on the banks. Brook chalice. I think this is going to be the one. About the bird calling. Fairy painting. Oh, cradle fern. Never mind. So the cradle fern has something to do with birds. Okay, I put the brook chalice, though, a little clue in. Okay, that's the owl, I believe. Egg. So now we know it's the owl that has a connection to the cradle fern. I knew I skipped over this when I passed through it right now because I went to go look at this. The trapped fairy. This has got to be related to nightfall. Now we know the eggs. Two more clues and we'll solve the fern mystery. Oh, what rubbish. Aquatic weed removal. Do you have a pond? Do you want to swim in it? Is it covered in slimy weeds? We're specializing in removing brook chalice, duckweed, Himalayan balsam, and algae. So brook chalice is mistakenly labeled as a weed, but that's only because it has a particular conditions that it needs to get it to bloom, and then its beauty, right, would be something to behold. Alright, looks like we'll be doing the cradle fern next. All the while progressing nightfall. We've got that fairy painting, right, which I'm pretty sure is going to be connected to nightfall. Petition. Somerset Society for Wildlife Protection offers a petition to be presented to the Honorable House of Commons. In recent years, hunts have been taking place near the Somerset rivers. Tragically, this has led to the decline and even extinction of some bird species. No longer can we hear their beautiful chime-like calls. We call upon the government to regulate hunting near the rivers of Somerset. We ask that they respect the breeding times of wildlife. If you agree, please sign below and return this letter to us. No expense attends signing your signature, Arabella Green. Now I see what's happened. So it's like this cycle, vicious cycle, where the more they, like these weeds need the owls, right, or the bird, we'll just say bird to generalize it, calling, probably the mating call, right, to, because this is it's an aquatic plant, the fern, but it's only going to bloom maybe with the calling of the mating call of birds, a particular type of bird. Unfortunately, it's been hunted extensively, resulting in its decline, and subsequently the brook chalice, right? Actually, no, my mistake. Brook chalice and the cradle fern are, maybe they're much more, more connected than we think. So cradle fern is connected to the owl, but this brook chalice is connected to the water. But it's connected. It's connected because then less birds means less calling, which means the plant something's gonna bloom. The brook chalice is gonna bloom less, right? Which means it doesn't. You won't know how beautiful it is, and then you'll just want to look like a weed, and then you'll just want to rip it out. Trapped fairy folktale. Once upon a time, there was a little fairy who lived gazing at her own reflection in the water. She lost track of time, and the day turned into night. Nyx, goddess of night, noticed the little fairy. The moon was shining bright, but the fairy only had eyes for herself. Nyx took offense and decided to punish the little fairy. Nyx placed the fairy into a nightfall and cast a spell on her. She fell in love with the moon and gazed upon the sky all night. As dawn approached and the sun arose, the spell broke. Though just as the fairy awoke from her enchantment, the flower bud closed and trapped the fairy for eternity. Ooh, that's a little effed. My dear Nova, never forgotten. Eliza. Dear first friend, it seems our interest in visiting the private plant collection of Lord Spencer has gone unacknowledged. While disappointing, I'm not sure it is worth pursuing scientific study in such places. On my recent visit to Brisbane, the young man showing us around had barely a basic knowledge of plants, and due to there being a large group of gentlemen in the party, all useful time and erudition was devoted to them and none given to Constance and I. Let us plan another trip of our own, and perhaps we can see these specimens in their home habitats where they belong. Ever your faithful friend, Eliza. So, Arabella's got colleagues who share her plight, where I'm sure there's countless people that had been turned away for despite, and unfortunately that could have meant the difference in getting, progressing like the entry, like botany. There's fortunately not too many. It's already doesn't seem like too many people might be patient or tender for for plants, right? And so to turn away people, it's like you might slow down progress like that. Tincture of red clover. Chamomile and red clover seem to soothe hot fleshes. Essence of arnica flower for sprains, strains, and joint pains. What? Wilson Plumbers to Arabella Green. Quota. Installation of disconnected. Here's our quote to repair the geyser in your bathroom. The cost might seem high, but trust us, it's a complex job best left to the professionals. Have a nice day, Frederick. So we have two little pieces, right? That just need to go on, and we have 4 pieces. 5 pieces. Simply trying to tap, and hot water will appear multiple times in a row. So she's getting pretty much kind of scammed. Okay, so we'll have a plant in this hot water. Is it going to be the fern, or is it going to be the chalice? Okay, so we're kind of juggling the fern and the chalice. I was convinced that this fairy painting was for the nightfall. Now I suspect it's going to be about the brook chalice, maybe? Because maybe that's a similar story, that the flower the brook chalice must be very beautiful, but you won't notice unless it's blooming, right? And it's like that, when it's not blooming, it just kind of, it'll go amiss. Flush toilet. What's the point of that? Clean and tight. Just making sure. Oh. We'll just start slapping these on. I'm just kind of winging it. Most of these are just corner pieces. Oh snap. There must be one more. Oh, there it is. Wow, that's it. Well, then we cranked it up to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so that's the hottest we can make it. probably in case we goofed. Tinctures. So we don't even have the brook chalice. We still have the oh, there we go. A clue, the rivers of Somerset. Average temperature, those are kind of cold. River Somer. I believe that's the one we want. So 15 degrees C. Melodies. I'm writing to share with you an exciting discovery I've made in my botanical studies. It turns out that some plants are particularly sensitive to sound and seem to thrive when exposed to music or melodies from their natural environment. I hope to share more of my findings with you in the near future and would be delighted if you could join me in my research. Your sincere friend, Marianne. Okay, so that thing about melodies is going to be a clue for the cradle fern. Sure. Okay, so there's only one clue in here, it seems like. Or two. The rivers of Somerset. Is that going to be connected to the fern or the brook chalice? Can we try? Not this one. It would seem. Did I miss this? Oh, I think I... Dear Lady Arabella, I wanted to thank you once again for your invaluable contributions during our recent meadow orchid research expedition. Your keen observations and deep knowledge of orchids was so helpful. Your dedication to the field is an inspiration to us all. I look forward to future collaborations and the continued exploration of the botanical wonders that surround us. I will put in a good word for you with the Botanical Society, and most sincerely, Professor Montague. Attic. Oh, okay, good. I must have missed that before. Health and safety warning, official government. It has been brought to our attention that the factory of Barton Ironworks has been illegally dumping scrap metal in rivers across Somerset. These rivers are now polluted with rust, making them unsafe for swimming. Do not swim in the following rivers: River Cam, River Somer, River Chew. The River From was also affected by the waste, though oddly the river is completely clear of rust pollution. We are still researching what led to that effect. The Mayor of Somerset. So the River From. The River From, is that where her colleague? Okay, so this one. The River From. I was walking. I'm taking a walk along a river in Somerset recently. It's the brook chalice, and they might not have realized. So it seems like the brook chalice is... Oh, maybe it needs pollution? It needs the rust? I didn't even think about that. So the fern needs bird calling. Okay, one at a time. Okay, we'll come back here when we're ready to do the fern. So that's the owl eggs. Real quick though, we gotta get this seed packet. More clues. The flower growing companion. Trapped moths, right? Sometimes A moth can become trapped inside a flower bud. If it closes in the morning, the moth is then forced to use the flower bud as a resting place until it opens again. Some flowers only bloom for short periods during the year, so if the moth is unlucky, the flower bud won't open again until many months later. Okay, interesting. Oh, so is moths the fairy? Oh, is that part of the nightfall? Okay, maybe the nightfall is connected to the moths. We have all these different things, right, leading to different causes for... One thing is going to be hot water, maybe, and another one is going to be music, sound, and it appears one might be for moth. I know some moths have, like, poison powder, so maybe that poison powder might be nutritious to the plant, possibly. Hummingbird hawk moth, moths of England. Emperor moth, this is beautiful. Oh, we can see right. Okay, so the moths are connected to nightfall. Trapped moths, moths poster, moth calendar. Now I suspect the fairy story is connected to the moth. Okay. Okay. We're getting there. It's kind of big up here. Might have some more clues. Ah, the rusty pig. So it's the rust from the tub. The site of plants. Some scientists have theorized that plants have photoreceptors in their leaves and stems, which allow them to see the color of light. This means that flowers can tell the time of day and know when to open or close their buds. The exact time that flowers bloom is different for each flower, but most do appear to respond to light and the color of light in some way. Horticulturists and botanists have made use of this knowledge to trick difficult flowers into blooming at any time they like. Ooh. Hey, they mentioned horticulturists, you know, good. Magic lantern. There's one missing. Oh, this is gonna be for the night moth, I imagine. Okay. Since we're gonna have to trick it. Since we can't expect it to go. Man, Arabella's clever, huh? Off the bat. My dear niece. Ooh, this is a 27-year-old letter. She saved it. Why is she saving decades old stuff? You know, she still look back. My dear niece, I fear the window may be closing for you to find a suitable husband. I have arranged a dinner for you to meet my neighbor's son Edward. He is successful in business in London. Your cousins, William and Thomas, may well aspire to become an accomplished scientist, but for you, Arabella, it is better to make yourself useful in the small duties of life for which you will be loved and appreciated. Your studious nature will no doubt be valuable should you have a son, but it would be foolish to allow such a folly to come before the important things in life. I am confident this is what your parents would have wanted. Dinner will be from 5 o'clock on Sunday. Remember to wear a becoming dress. Yours sincerely, Aunt Agnes. Damn. Damn, dude. Ah, the mallard. There's been several ducks, huh? Oh, look at this one. It looks just like the slides. Oh, the brook chalice. Botanist's Digest. This month in conversation with Professor Montague, leading expert in British meadow orchids. In his words, every plant, every leaf, and every meadow holds secrets waiting to be unlocked. My aim is simply to uncover some of these mysteries. Professor John Montague, renowned botanist, sheds light on his groundbreaking work in the world of meadow orchids and other botanical wonders. With decades of research and numerous publications to his name, Professor Montague's contributions to the field have been nothing short of revolutionary, including discoveries of new species such as the Dactylorhiza Montague or hood marsh orchid. But there's no mention of Arabella, right? And Arabella was the one who pointed that out, and he claimed he was merely testing. So is Montague a bastard that just took the claim, didn't give Arabella any credit, right? Passed off as his own shit. What a chump. And then he has the gall to like want to invite her on for more because he knows she's brilliant. We'll take this. This rust, as far as I'm concerned, until I hear otherwise, this rusty pig might as well be Montague. Like a Montague, David. So this pig will as our stand-in for the pollution, right? So are we gonna need one of those tinctures, perhaps? Actually, yeah. Can we set it up here? We'll set it on the toilet for now. So that little stuff, that's just context. That's just to show that stuff there that Arbella's not afraid to use some remedies that she can get her hands on. So we have the seed for nightfall. Cradle fern. We have all the seeds we need now. Now it's just connecting the right clues. The petition is for the birds. Or yeah, it's for the hunting. Okay, so now we can do the cradle fern. Side of plants. That's gonna be for the nightfall, I suspect. The fairy painting and the side of plants. Excellent. Okay. And then we'll have bath geyser. And one more clue that still eludes us. Well, we'll figure that out later. For now, the cradle fern. So we still gotta know that that's the owl, right? We'll do the cradle fern. I'm just gonna double check that it is the owl. I could have sworn it was the owl. There's also one more clue that we've missed somehow. I'm sure will come to light soon enough. Yeah, it was over here that had the eggs. Helped us with the fungi. Meadow orchids. Crested owl egg. So it is the owl. Crested owl. No, we're fine though. Okay. I would like to do the brook chalice before the nightfall, since the nightfall is a little trickier. Might even need to give it some kind of chemical since we don't have the powder of the moth. So crested owl. Crested owl. It's ECDEGF. You know, there's nothing wrong with me just taking a photo reference. Why am I gonna... I don't need to memorize this, so let me just go ahead and snap a photo of this bad boy. Okay. Technology, huh? We don't. I'm not living in 1890s, right? Neither are you if you're watching this. Okay. I'll try to do this fast. Nice, beautiful. The past years, the cradle fern is used by the crested owl as nest, and in turn the plant has grown dependent on the owl's chime-like call to grow. Wow, beautiful. I didn't even think about the nesting. To be honest, that does make more sense. That's how it would be close enough to the owl to hear it, the sound, the fastest. I'm just gonna go ahead and just to clear our mind, just go ahead and just kind of walk this to the plant room. Anything along the way, we'll notice. I think a clue that we're missing is just whichever moth, right, is usually stuck, we'll need to mimic that moth. Right, so we got that one, Brook Chalice, Nightfall, boom. And then we'll probably have 3 more. Brook Chalice. Not found. Master bedroom. You know what? That's actually really nice of them to tell us where the clue could be found. That's actually, it's more than generous, actually. Right there, master bedroom, aka Arabella's room. So there is a clue in this room. I know I've read both of those. It's gotta have something to do with the bottle. Oh, in here? No. In the pillow, no. Windowsill? Behind the door? Imagine it was hanging up on the wall. No. Can I inspect stuff, right? Reading behind that? No. Tincture of red clover. Chamomile and red clover seem to soothe hot fleshes. Essence of arnica flower. I drained it because now that we know the river Somre is the one that has interesting. It's gotta have something to do with this. And here? No. Clue in the master bedroom not found. Painting, no. This one's tricky. What do we do? Could always go play with the nightfall. It's gotta have something to do with this. Chamomile and red clover. Seem to soothe hot flashes, huh? Maybe we had to flush the toilet first. To open it? No? Oh, still no, huh? Could just go get, guess, work on the nightfall. Might we discover the clue when we are... Is this upper area all considered? Maybe I'm assuming that that's just that room is considered. So this is definitely the attic. This hall. I'm wondering what that could be called. Sitting. I don't want to blame glitch or nothing. This room. He'll put in a good word, he says. Maybe that was it. I heard the music. Maybe I thought I read that one. Okay, we did get it. Alright, we're ready. We'll do the nightfall second. Sounds a little more interesting. Once more. My bad, I know I stepped away. The River Sommer, 15 degrees Celsius, which is what I set. But also with pollution. Let's set this sucker down for a second. So we're set to 15 degrees C. Go ahead, fill this bath. Ooh, does your tub have water mist? No, I'm just playing. Obviously, that's not what it's expected. So we have it at the right temperature. We have it polluted now, which is essentially just adding iron oxide. Must have had the wrong temperature. I don't think we have to start over though. I think dumping it is just maybe meant to... I don't think it's lost. I don't think it's lost. So it's the River Somme, right? we have the river from and the river cam. So 5 degrees or 25 degrees. You could try 25 next. It's one of those, you know. Oh, like maybe that's where... Oh, didn't the seed packet tell us where they came from? Oh, well, sometimes she wrote that down. It was written somewhere. Do we need this? Do we need that source in there? Okay, it was 25, the river from. I left the pig in there just in case it cleans up the pig too. Wouldn't that be nice to see since we already got this to bloom? Wow. That's brook chalice? Gosh, that's beautiful. How are we gonna get this thing to go? Okay. That one is beautiful. Brook chalice prefers to grow in rivers with a temperature of 25 degrees Celsius. The plant naturally filters the water from rust and metal. Unfortunately, they get removed often, as most people prefer their ponds to be weed-free. You could tell there's that little bit of emphasis. I'll nickname that little pig Montague for now. Of course she wants to leave that there. Does she think it's gonna soothe her body of rust or like pollution? Wow, that's actually kind of beautiful, huh? I mean, some people we do sometimes bathe with herbal remedies. Some stuff's good for the skin. I mean, things with antibacterial property. There's all kinds of things, right? All kinds of things. I'm sure people have even done plenty of investigation of their own, both scientifically and personally, since even if it is cleared through science, I don't mean a person's unique circumstance might just demand otherwise, huh? So we're gonna have to identify. Okay, so maybe the moth is just a matter of we have time in the sky. Okay, so how this is gonna work is the time of the sky, the time of year, right, is gonna reflect the time, the color pattern of the sky, right? And certain moths are only gonna be out and about at certain times of the year, right? So that's a correlate, that's a connection right there. And we have that little moth. Oh, my bad. We have that little moth chart, that little moth calendar, so we could see what moths are in which month. That means then we just gotta, just like with the crested owl, we need to be able to know which moth, maybe, for which time of year. Was it this way? It's that way. And this place is huge. Okay. Lepiator troop. Hawk, hummingbird, cinnabar, elephant, hawk, eyed hawk, June, July, August, September, October. So nothing in March, right? Which means we could rule out March, April, May, June, July, and August. Ooh, the Emperor only in July. Is Emperor meant to signify with the Queen, perhaps? 6-spot burnet. Or maybe the spots are supposed to give us a clue. It's because we need to induce that spotted. This is a nice little game. Oh, there's a little plant thing over here, wasn't there? Oh, never mind. So we don't need an actual moth. Moths of England. Oh, is that paint the trapped fairy supposed to signify? Oh, is that part of the story? Maybe it was passed down through folklore. So we have a red spot and then we have brown wings. So which wing do we need? Six-spot burnet. Looks different. It's red spots. Oh, garden tiger moth. Red with black spots. Yeah, that looks similar. So garden tiger moth. And what's the other wing? They look like... It's like beige and a brown. Well, definitely the tiger moth. Actually, you know what? It is the garden tiger moth. The top part, I just realized the top part looks... Okay, it is that one. It's the garden tiger moth. And the garden tiger moth? September... Okay, now we've... No, it's the tiger moth, the month of September. Let's go ahead and check the month of September. May, July, October, April, June, September. Okay, so this is the clue, the color, the key code, or color code. Just snap a photo of this. Cause I ain't no trapped moth, okay, you dig? Alright, blue, yellow, orange, red. Blue, yellow, orange, red. Okay, it's over here. Oh, actually, we need to hit up the seed station real quick. Can't bloom it without even planting it yet. Oh. Nightfall. So let's go ahead in order. Blue, yellow, orange, and red. If I'm wrong, then I'll put it in the other way around. There we go. Wow. That is beautiful. Her grandmother would be so proud, huh? Seeing the nightfall bloom is a rare event. The flower only blooms with September sunsets. Night pollinators active in September, such as the garden tiger, often get trapped once the bud closes for the rest of the year. There we go. Our invitation to the final chapter. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we'll finally be going back outside to the back garden. This pretty much clears out the house. Which means we're gonna go ahead and we'll drop this off. Beautiful. Look at that. Look at this collection, huh? Damn, it's beautiful, man. So we've been over there. It's gonna be on that side now that we go explore. By no means Russian, but we are just kind of, you know, I mean, I'm already fascinated by plants, so to me, I might be a little bit more, might be able to notice some of the details with the plants a little bit quicker. So the formal garden, oh, that's nice. Jimmy, I apologize wholeheartedly for accidentally taking the key to the formal garden home with me. It was in my pocket, and I had simply forgotten it was there. I didn't want to disturb your research, so I left the key in the basket for you, Jimmy. Oh, don't trouble. It's no bother. Oh, love, it's no bother, Arabella says to Jimmy. Lady Arabella, oh, she's gonna be a right tiff, isn't she? I'm going to get this key to her. Climbing up. Ooh, that means that tells me maybe something trellising. Maybe a taller plant. Oh. Is that the formal garden over there? Okay, we'll unlock that from the other side. Okay, then I think from the back door. Well, I know that how we'll get over there. Just kick down that, and I'll get over there. Huh? Damn. She can't crawl into there. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, that's right. Montague has a wife, doesn't he? I was just thinking, would Montague possibly have been a suitor for her? But he's got a wife, doesn't he? It's not like she's waiting for her to pass away to make a move. Although, no, Montague, he might be an arse, you know, just a right ass. That's gotta be a formal garden over there. Yes, sir. Formal. Ooh, fancy. Gosh, man, this property is crazy. So 3 plants. Not bad. Couple clues. Here's one of them. It was a message. A gentleman farmer has reported sightings of mysterious blinking lights coming from caves near his home in Cheddar. In his own words, I was walking me dog and lost track of time a little. Oops, my bad. It soon became dark and I decided to make the walk back home. On the way to my house in a tiny cave, as I walked by, I noticed a blinking light pattern cast from the cave entrance. I was sure it was one of those Morse code messages. When I approached the cave, the light source vanished and nobody was there. I'm convinced that what I saw was the Morse code, abbreviation for attention. I will never forget that abbreviation, as it was the first message I learned in Morse code. Local authorities have assured our journalists that there have been no recent military activity or exercise in the area, so the mystery remains unsolved. Okay, my suspect is a phosphor bioluminescence, right? Where essentially, well, usually it's for animals, but I'm using it as just a general term for when a life form, right? Because plants are alive too. A life form. Oh, what's in there? Ooh, what the heck? Oh, we got an interesting puzzle. This is gonna be, so this is our boss fight, huh? Right there. Bioluminescence. So essentially, when an organism can produce its own light, and I think the plants might be able to do so of its own. Spring dance shrub used to grow in the gardens, but have completely disappeared when I was off on my travels. At least you have seeds, Arabella. So I think we should. Wow, this is a huge area. So this is where we're going to be hanging out. Try not to get overwhelmed. Greeting card. Dear Arabella, I was delighted after our recent mentoring session. You do excellent work as a fellow scholar of the natural world. I recall the spring dance shrub that once grew in your garden before you depart on your travels. How wonderful it would be to see it growing again. I have been compiling plant specimens that require pollination to mature into their adult stage. I wonder if the spring dance shrub is one of these plants. Ever your affectionate friend, Lavina. Okay, now I have a new theory that fireflies, right, also glow. They produce their own light source, right? Bioluminescence, and I think that they are possibly pollinating. Or maybe it's another type of night pollinator, like a moth. Fool's Emerald gifted them by a friend. Bioluminescence, wasn't I not telling you? Okay. In the darker corners of our world, there are plants and organisms that are able to produce their own light. These plants, fungi, and insects, and fish as well. Deep oceans, okay, they didn't say fish, but these plants, fungi, and insects are most often found in areas of low light, such as dark forests, deep oceans, and gloomy caves. Recent discoveries show that chemicals such as luciferin are responsible for this glowing effect. Ooh, we got that in the lab, don't we? Maybe we do. Wow. It is not known what this glowing effect is used for, but it could be for communication with others of the same species or to attract pollinators or food. Scientists believe there are many bioluminescent species waiting to be discovered. I think there are different reasons, because I know anglerfish, right? They have the little lantern, right? That attracts prey, right? Because it's a carnivorous fish, right? Versus a firefly, I don't think it's carnivorous. But who knows? Chemical compounds in wildflowers. So fool's emerald has luciferin, meaning it could produce. So, fool's emerald is possibly bioluminescent. So maybe it was fool's emerald growing inside that cave and there was no firefly at all. So it sounds like we might get the fool's errand to grow. So plant chemicals, bioluminescence. The shrub is the greeting card. And the news article for the fool's emerald. The dining area. Okay, that was enlightening over there. Look, all that walking about, look, why did Arabella do this? Why not just take this, have it right there, move those pots over there? Heck, that should be right here in this corner. Where are you going with these things? Like, it seems a bit silly, but I guess they didn't want you to go over here too soon. They couldn't just put a big old gate all of a sudden. Yeah, I know, we have a fair bit. We have the entire down area, and I'm sure there's going to be some more stuff over there. For now, let's just continue on. Okay, so more chemicals over there. Maybe luciferin. Here. Telegraph. Mr. Bennett, the telegraph you ordered arrived while you were at the farmer's market. They delivered it by boat. I left it at the boathouse since I didn't know where you'd like to keep it. There appears to be a Morse code manual inside the case as well. Okay, so it seems we'll have to go check that out. Note about lawn. My sweet Hazel, are you keeping well today? Jimmy's only gone and broken the lawnmower again. If it weren't for my war injury, I wouldn't be letting him loose with the mower. He said he ran over some hard object down in the long grass near the pond. I had a brief look and couldn't see anything. Sometimes I wonder about that boy's sensibilities. Save me some of your lovely scones. Yours always, Mr. Bennett. That's probably the metal object that's going to go into that bit over there. Since it's hard, made of probably stone. Oh, seaweed, wood ash, guano, manure, coffee, peat. Amendments for plants. I myself I use peat moss. That's P is peat moss. Not always, it's not always sustainably obtained, since you kind of gotta not devastate, but it's not as environmentally friendly to keep using peat moss, but people are doing it anyway. Seaweed, wood ash, manure, coffee. Seems like we have much more coffee, so maybe that might be a better avenue. Tips for growing hydrangeas are beautiful flowers that contain anthocyanin, which is a pigment that can change color depending on the pH levels of the environment. Ooh. The colors can vary between red, purple, and blue. Wow, that's interesting. Oh, around the pH, so we have different pots now. New materials for garden pots: terracotta, granites, sandstone, marble, obsidian. Okay, so that's probably going to come oscillate. So we have 3. So the spring dance shrub, fool's emerald, and oscillate. One of those is close to the hyacinth. Oh my goodness, this place is huge. You think you are? Could I have gotten an achievement if I had went to go play with it sooner? Oh, maybe it's gonna provide. Maybe it'll fetch something for us, huh? Alright, well now we've unlocked the shortcut. Not that I plan to go over that way anytime soon. For now, let's just gather clues. Oh, the spring dance shrub is gonna be our hyacinth stand-in. Or maybe it's not too, it's a distant relative. Okay, so low pH blue, high pH red. Low pH meaning more base, high pH meaning more acidic. Somewhere in the middle is more alkaline. Soil pH research. So we'll have to use a combination. So the shrub is going to take a combination of having the right pot with the right mixture of amendments, soil amendments. So is it going to be up to us to choose which color we want? If it were me, I'm just going to probably go down the middle. And I'll probably shoot for the purple. 5 to 7. And if I want something that clean, look, a granite pot with seaweed. Oh, maybe this is part of the fun of this one, is that there might be some variation. Actually, some of these might not be viable. Actually, no, I take that back. Look, we could have a red hyacinth at 12 to 14, meaning the sandstone with some seaweed could put us in that range. So maybe we have different options depending on what color we want. I'm thinking purple though. Sounds kind of nice. Now we know the shrub has. That's to the Morse code, I suspect. Hydrangeas. Pot catalog. Pigment research. Soil pH. Fool's emerald. Probably connecting to Mentoring. Dear Miss Green, I have recently heard of your involvement in the mentoring of aspiring botanists. Botany is a field that demands a thorough understanding of its complexities, and while I admire dedication, the saying, the blind leading the blind, does come to mind. All jests aside, I do hope your endeavors in mentoring will yield some semblance of progress. Sincerely, Professor Thornton. So, obviously they put Thorn in his name as a jab, huh? Obviously, he's... Who does he think he is? Just like... I don't know, were men like that? But then they just kind of like jab the ladies with like some BS like that. Why does he care? Shouldn't he be doing his own important, if it's so dang important, should he be spending his time to write that? That's like, imagine that in text message, right? Nowadays. No. Dear Mr. Bennett, thank you so much for your lovely bunch of rhubarb from your nephew's garden. He needn't have sent anything in return for the herbal poultice I gave him for his little one, but I am grateful all the same. I know he hasn't the money to fetch the doctor, since you said he cannot read a note. Please send him my thanks when you see him. Faithfully yours, Hazel. So that's why Hazel and Bennett are sweet on each other, but... Or, well... So, scene, but I thought one of them was... Mary, maybe I'm mistaken. No. Now we carry on. Oh, I'm guessing the ocelot is going to have something to do with his birds, huh? Mixed seeds, highest quality. Attract a host of garden birds such as bluebirds, finches, robins, and warblers with this seed prepared the highest quality level. Simply spread the seeds over an appropriate bird table or feeding surface and observe the delight of your feathered garden neighbors. Okay, so now we know we can move that sucker. Okay, that means move this over here, and then eventually... Okay, the ocelot. I suspect that the ocelot is going to connect this. Alright, the boathouse is probably the key that goes over there. Not that I've been over there yet, but I can already tell. Making me glad that I came over here. I suspect as much just because having design levels, I think I know that more or less how the... Plus I seen the map earlier, and we're nearing the end of our playthrough. Attracting birds with color: red flowers, blue flowers, yellow flowers, purple flowers, orange flowers. Okay, that means we're gonna have to know. I mean, it's probably gonna... We already know it's gonna be bluebird, warbler, or finches. Because we only have a particular kind of seed, right? For now. So the ocelot. I'm sure this has something to do. Bird seeds, bird poster. That one's going to be a short one, but instead of the boathouse. My goodness, this place is crazy. It's incredible. Oh, my bad. That's just like little subtext, a little bit. Man, she's just got pots for days everywhere. Oh, hey, that's the bird that we see is attracted to that seed. Now we know. It's the red. Okay. When we go over there, we'll know. We know it's that guy now. Now we head down. Oh my goodness, such a distance. Bulrush, lilies, shrubs, little shrubs. Low wall. There's that broken mower, so that must be where that little thing is from. That's the last key. A gate over there. How is she just leaving her crap all over the place? I heard it rains profusely in certain parts of England. So you would think all this stuff gets mowed down. Unfinished painting. Getting an achievement for inspecting a painting. It's quite interesting. How did no one notice this handle, you know, on the ground? Set it down for a second. My dearest cousin, whilst I hold a deep fascination for the pursuit of knowledge and science, I must admit that the subject of spiritualism is not one that particularly captivates me. Therefore, I must return this book to you. However, I appreciate your efforts in sharing your interest with me with affection. The Will-O-Wisp. Oh, you know what? Maybe in Arabella's short-sightedness, she just assumes, right? Well, maybe there is spiritualism, but maybe Arabella, wiser now, will recognize that myth, right? Maybe people's myths and story, the folklores, right, of a will-o-wisp is actually tied to bioluminescence, right, coming from a cave. We're gonna come back this way anyway. Let's go investigate this. Okay. Oh my gosh, and we keep going. So much space, like gosh, you can just look at all this, just like a lot of area. Well, most of that's shaded with the trees, but okay, so I suspect the Fool's Emerald is gonna need not only pH, no, the shrub will need the pH. It seems that we'll need the right record for blooming the other one, the emerald. Animal husbandry, animal heart rates. Okay, coming up this side is the side that I think it's locked from the other side, but now no longer. Came up back and around because now I think, do we have enough clues? I'm mixing up the emerald and the ossetet, because this one talks about Morse code, right? And the bioluminescence, which I suspect is for the emerald, fool's emerald. Oh, there must be more clues in there. Maybe. Maybe it's not, and that's just a window to see. Maybe it's the reflections throwing me off. Regardless, let's go ahead and throw that switch on there. I'm just curious. Kind of wish I could sprint, but it's okay. Interesting fence post. Looks all natural. You're kidding. You're joking. We're not about to just step on some lily pads right now. Wow. Oh, so this must be where the emerald's gonna go. So we have the shrub, the ossetet. So one of them is gonna go in the boathouse with the telegraph. Another one is gonna go by the bird seeder. And another is gonna go in there. Okay, I think we'll figure that out maybe another time. I think I'm going to stop the stream now. Thank you for watching. This has been another episode of Botany Manor. Hope you'll give it a try and tune in when we wrap up this game next time. Thank you for watching. Good night.